Hey guys, it's Raychich, and now my fireball build one-shots pinnacle bosses. So here is Trial Master. I almost killed him even without my shots, only with my frostball. So yeah, I made some changes since the last video. If you haven't seen it yet, I have a big video about this build, like 27 minutes. And now my fireball Archmage cast on shock, cast on freeze build has double the damage and about twice as much defense. And in this video I will talk about this build, and I really hope you will like it, because I guess this stormweaver build is maybe the strongest in PoE 2. Maybe Spark is the same, but I mean, it depends on your likes. So here's me in my hideout, and I will talk about what kind of changes did I make from the last video. First of all, now as you see, we have 1 life and 0 shield, and that's because we convert all the energy shield to mana with Eldritch Battery. And I took from the last video Chaos Inoculation, so our maximum life becomes 1, and we have immune to Chaos damage. So it's crazy, like cap of Chaos resistance is always crazy. And about defense, like don't be afraid about 1 life and 0 shield. If you haven't seen the last video, we have Mind Over Matter passive here, so all damage is taken from mana before life. So as you see right now, I have 5200 mana, and it means 5200 life as for us. And about resistances, we have cap all elemental resistances, don't look at this 2%, and we have immune to chaos damage. About our mana regen, while moving, I have 745 mana regen, so it's crazy. So it's like it works as a life regen for this build. So the defense now is much better than, I mean, in my last video. So now we're like 10k as fuck. Also, what did I do for my defense? As I allocated, here's my new amulet as well. I allocated new adverse growth passive, so it's like pretty cheap allocation. I spent like maybe 10 exalted orbs on this distilled emotions, and it gives 20% of damage taken recouped as mana. So as for us, it means 20% more defense. So what's next about passive tree that I make changes? So I unselected these 4 passives because we don't need this extra 50%, 90% chance to shock, because if you know, in PoE Exile we can apply shock when we deal like any of your lightning damage. Will apply shock if you like deal massive of this lightning damage. As this build is Archmage, and it means we deal bonus lightning damage. So let me show you, for example, my comet. It has, like, in my hideout without any charges, 174,000 damage, and it's like 80% of this damage is lightning. So we deal a lot of lightning damage because of Archmage, which gives non-channeling spells gain 8% of damage as extra lightning for each 100 maximum mana you have. So we have like 5200, so it's like a lot. Actually, I will not talk about every mechanic in this build, because like it can be like kind of hard to, I mean, to make the same video. My previous video was like 27 minutes and you can watch it, but in this video I will talk about, like, in simple words, in a few words, how it works. So maybe if it will be clear for, I mean, for you to understand how this build works. If you will still need some more, I mean, detailed information, you can watch my last video. So in simple words, this build is a stormweaver. So stormweaver, right? We have ascendancy for mana, for Arcane Surge. So we have Arcane Surge, and it's with increased effect because of maximum mana. So it's like huge Arcane Surge. Next, we can apply 2 shocks at the same time. So when we apply 1 shock, we have a chance. I mean, we can, it's not a chance like 100% if you deal lightning damage. We can apply 2 shocks, so monsters will, and especially bosses will receive more damage. And the last ascendancy we have for exposure. So how this build works, actually, we cast frost walls. It can be 1 or like more, and then we explode them with fireballs and a lot of these projectiles, like blasting entire screen. So it's really fast mapper, because you can just kill entire screen in just 1 cast, like 2 casts, like 1 frost wall and 1 fireball. So yeah, it's, in simple words, it's how it works. The next one is what I wanted to mention is from the last video, what did I make? The second decision what did I make is I dropped 1 curse. So I dropped hypothermia curse because like previously I had Whispers of Doom, so I could apply 2 curses at once. but I just realized with this amount of mana, so with 5000 mana, I deal 80% of my damage is like lightning, so I don't need to apply one additional curse for cold resistance. I will just save this 1 point, and anyway we'll just use 1 conductivity, and it's really a lot against bosses. You will always one-shot your boss, like always. Okay, so about my weapon swap, like few words about my weapon swap. You should have stuff with Sigil of Power in implicit and level of all spell skills. So also it can be with cast speed to cast your curses faster and Sigil of Power, but actually we cast our curse in just like almost instant, so you shouldn't care about cast speed. But about Sigil of Power, yeah, it takes like 0.3 seconds to cast it. So about my how we should fight in boss fights. So we just come into the area. Imagine this map device is a boss we need to fight. So first of all, if you want to blast maps, you should like swap your gems to custom freeze here. So custom freeze is much better for map clearing if you want to blast. If you want to like this comet to land into the ground every like 0.5 seconds, because I made another change here. I dropped inspiration support, because inspiration gives like it reduces mana cost, but as we have like this much amount of mana, we don't care about mana cost anymore. I changed it for impetus, and now our supported skills gain more energy. So it's really easy to get this 100% on custom freeze and custom shock. So in mapping, well, custom freeze is better because custom freeze procs match more often against white and blue monsters, and while custom shock procs much faster, much more often against unique bosses and rares. So actually you can run always with custom shock, because anyway with this amount of AoE damage we're fine in maps. And but if you want to be like even faster in clearing, you can just do this little things like it takes 1 second to swap. So it's another change about my cast and shock. So what did I change? I added to my frost bomb, I added a super critical support. It gives 100% increased crit damage but less crit chance, and we have like 40% crit chance, and in fight it will be like around 50%. So it's like we need this frost bomb only for cold exposure actually, but actually the bonus crit, and it has like 80,000 DPS in tooltip, so like the bonus damage, so why not? What next? I guess I will talk about my items that I changed after the last video. So my wand is the same. You should be watching for, you should be looking for maximum mana plus to level of all spell skills, crit chance for spells, and yeah, pretty easy. The next one is the same ring, from my last video. So Snake Pit is really bad. It's the best ring for this build, but if you can't afford it yet, you can just have a rare ring with resistances and life and mana, because like we need this in late endgame version. It gives us free fork for fireball, so we can have. It means we have 5 link right now, so 4 support gems, but it means like we have 6 because it gives us free fork. So our projectiles is like cut into the 2 fireballs, each fireball when firing into the enemy, so more damage, more clear speed. The next one is I have the same clothes, because I forgot about this to say. Don't be afraid about fireball, about fire tech, because we have blue flame bracers, and these bracers gives us 100% of fire damage converted to cold. So we have only cold damage, and because of Archmage, 80% of our overall damage is anyway lightning. So the next one, I changed my belt. Now my belt has like triple resistances and a lot of maximum mana, also some like bonus armor, so why not? So you should be looking for mana and resistances on your belt. Next one is I changed my boots. Now my boots has 2 elemental resistances and a lot of mana as well. So 30% movement speed is minimum you should have in PoE to not be slow. The next one, I have the same body armor as before, so we should have some kind of body armor with spirit and as much energy shield as possible, right? The next one is I bought a new ring from the last video. Now it gives me 240 maximum mana and a lot of elemental resistances, I mean to all elemental resistances, and it's really important increase mana regeneration rate. I mean more mana regeneration rate you have in your build, more defense you have, because like it works as a defense for this build. The next one, I bought a new amulet, like I showed it in the beginning, but this amulet is huge. I mean, I bought it for like 1 or 2 divines, so not so expensive for this amount of modifiers. It gives us 200 maximum mana, 8% increase maximum mana, so it's like 500, 300, so it's like this amulet gives 500 maximum mana, 46 spirit. I don't need that much spirit, so I have like 30 spirit that I don't need actually in this build. Then it gives critical hit chance, or it can, like, if you have another amulet for crit damage, it would be fine, and lightning resistance. The next one is I have the same. Oh no, I changed. I had unique helmet, which was like for bonus energy shield, but now as I have CI passive here, so we don't care about maximum life, and all our energy shield is converted to mana. I just dropped this unique helmet and bought this helmet for like 1.5 divines, and it gives me 400 energy shield and mana and lightning resistance. Don't look at the spirit, we don't need it, it's like lackey corruption. The last item in this build, and it's a new item from the last video, is, I don't know how to pronounce this unique shield, but this shield is crazy. I bought it for like 2 divines, and it gives 600% increased effect of socketed soul cores, and I have 2 soul core of Zealotl, or how can I pronounce it, but it each gives me 2% increased maximum mana, and we have like total 4% increased maximum mana and 600 increased effect. It means 24% increased maximum mana this shield actually gives, and also 270 armor, so it's not that bad. So that's all about items. So I said everything about passage tree. No, I allocated some kind of the beginning of the passage tree, so you can just copy it. Link will be in the description, guys. I really try to make this guide as detailed as possible, so you will be completely fine. You will not be like feeling sad playing this build, because like you can ask me any kind of comments, any kind of questions in my comment section, or just while I'm streaming or on my Discord. So I will try to help each of you if you have some problems with this build, but you shouldn't actually. About my skill gems, if you haven't seen the last video and don't want to watch 27 minutes, we have Sigil of Power and we have Weapon Swap. Oh, I forgot about Weapon Swap actually. I said about which weapon you need to have on your second slot, but actually what it does. On my Weapon Swap we have all the passives for increased curse effects, and it works automatically if you just choose this. If you just choose this section, it will be used only for weapon set 2. So when you cast your curse, it will automatically swap your weapon. Yeah. So where's my conductivity? Right. So here's with my wand and shield, and when I cast conductivity, boom, it automatically swap. But when I cast any other skills, it will swap again. So for my second weapon set, we have conductivity, and we have like 80% increased effect modifier because of this second passive tree, for my weapon swap. And another, we have Sigil of Power that will automatically swap our weapon, because only our staff, not the wands, has this implicit. So yeah. Now I know about weapon swap a little bit. About skill gems, we have Sigil of Power with magnified effect for more area of effect, because Sigil of Power gives us more damage while spending mana while we are like moving in this area. Oh, misclicked. So yeah, we need to have this area really big. The next one is persistence, so it gives more skill effect duration, so I mean more Sigil of Power duration, more damage you will more bonus spell damage you will receive, so it's pretty nice. The next wall is Frost Wall. I have only 5 link, and my Frost Wall is level 19, but actually you saw in the beginning, it's one-shotted the trial mastery, so my character is now only level 89, but anyway, I one-shot pinnacle bosses even without hitting them. So Frostwell, we have with Spell Cascade to cast more Frost Walls. The next one is Glaciation for more freeze build-up, because we need to freeze enemies, and freeze build-up is the a mechanic, so we take this freeze build-up to freeze enemies faster, and when we freeze enemies, they're frozen, and if you play with cast on freeze on your maps, comets will cast more frequently. So the next one is we have lightning exposure in Frostwall, and it inflicts lightning exposure on shock on an enemy. So sometimes when we will explode our Frostwall, or it will automatically, like Frostwall works automatically, it deals periodically damage for if the enemy is huge, like a big model of enemy. Like if it's unique boss, it will automatically be damaging even without hitting the wall, and that's why it will proc the cast on shock comets, and that's why I killed actually Trial Master without hitting it. Like 95% of his health I just damaged without hitting. So the next one is Considering Casting for more damage but less cast speed, and that's all for Frostwall. The next one is Fireball. This is our main, clearing damage, because unique bosses we can not even hit, but it is our main clearing spell that we use in maps and else. So we use Scatter Shot for 2 additional projectiles, and we have Wild Shots for 20% chance to fire 8 additional projectiles in a circle. So sometimes it will proc, and we will cast even more projectiles. The next one is we have Unleashed to not spam it, but we will cast it only when you have the number 2 here. So when it have like 3 charges, we will cast it, and it will deal massive damage. And don't forget that when this skill will affect, will target an enemy, it will like bounce, and it will be a lot of these projectiles all around the screen. The last support gem here is Rising Tempest, because like I don't have 6 link yet. It gives 12% more elemental damage for each skill used recently of a different elemental type. So we have like Frostball and Fireball. It's like minimum 2 elements we have cast before. The next one is our cast on freeze or cast on shock setup. So as I said before, if you have not as much mana as I do right now, it's better to run maps with cast on freeze, because it will proc the comets, and while fighting big bosses just swap and use cast on shock, but the gems are the same. So the first one is Comet, of course, because it deals massive damage. The next one is Spell Echo, and it makes our comet to cast twice this, and it works with cast on shock, cast on freeze. So yeah. The next one is Concentrated Effect, which deals 40% more area damage but less area of effect, but we don't care about area of effect, it's mostly for bosses. And the last one is Impetus, as I said before, for more increased energy. We need this energy to actually proc this. The next one is Archmage, our main source of damage, and we have this with Lightning Mastery for +1 to level of supported lightning skills, and Clarity for increased mana regeneration rate if you have like 10 spirit like available rate while a supported skill is active. The next one is Frost Bump. We need this for cold exposure effect, and I use it with Strip Away, so exposure applied by supported skills has more increased effect. And actually we can if you will have like 6 link in Frostwall, we can use it with Frostwall, because a lightning exposure is much more important in this build, because lightning is our main damage. So about Frostwall, we use it with Cold Mastery as well for +1 to level of supported cold skills, and Super Critical for increased critical damage bonus, as I said before, like bonus damage against bosses, because we cast it only on bosses, so why not? And the last one is Conductivity, or Conductivity is our Lightning Curse. We use it with Hasten Curse for increased effect, with Focus Curse for reduced delay, and Arcane Tempo for more cast speed to cast it even faster. So maybe I forgot about something, guys, in this build, in this video, but if I did, and if you want to know more information, you have 2 options. You can ask me in comments, or you can ask me on stream, or you can ask me on my Discord, links in the description, or you can watch my my previous video, about this build, and you will be completely fine. This build deals critical damage a lot. We have like 50% chance or something to deal crits, 40, but in fight it'll be like 50. Lightning damage, cold damage, so that's our sources of damages. The last 2 changes that I made after posting my last video is I took these 2 nodes for like more damage for each type of elemental element on enemy, because we have like chill and shock, so it's like 2 types. And I took Arcane Surge for even more cast speed and mana regeneration. So now it's all the changes after my last video, and I really hope you will like my fast update, because like only 2 days after my last video, and now it's uber endgame version. The only thing you can progress, I mean, is progressing your level to like 95, and if I would progress it, I would definitely take, like, it depends on your needs. If you want to fight to one-shot bosses even like faster, but I mean, why? You can take these nodes to deal more triggered spells. It will deal more damage, or you can take these nodes for more lightning damage. Anyway, this build is uber endgame. The only thing you can progress, I mean, if you're not talking about a passive in your items, it can be like to get 3 slots here and use one more soul core, and to get more energy shield here and better ones. But yeah, you can use it, uber endgame version, for all the type of content. It was Raychich as always, guys. Please don't forget to like, to support me with comments, and don't forget to follow on my Twitch, because like I really want to try streaming as well. Yeah, my efforts, your likes, thank you so much. Love you all, guys. Merry Christmas and happy holidays. It was Raychich. Goodbye.